Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Suhaila Ruzaza. My metric number is 257190. We'll share about the conflict case in the world. Many issues nowadays have an impact not only on the country itself, it also gives conflict to neighboring country. One of the conflict that I would like to share is the conflict of drug war between Mexico and United States. The two countries have historically established relations not only in terms of trade but also culture, and their demography are almost the same. Therefore, the stability of Mexico is very important for the United States because the nature and intensity of violence in Mexico becomes very important concern of the US Congress to maintain national peace. This has been taken action with the US having held many talks with the Mexico state to address the growing problem of violence in Mexico. Mexico's new president is Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Then simply as AMLA, he inherits a country with the extreme level of violent crime. The murder rate has more tripled since 2006. It's in large part by has powerful drug cartels. They control the productions and the distributions of cocaine, heroin, and marijuana through the extreme violence and fear. This despite billions being spent in public security and anti-narcotic efforts by successive Mexico governments. The destination for most of Mexico's illegal drug export is the United States, which is why the US has supported Mexico's war on drugs with financial and military support, but also by helping to take on the drug lords themselves. An example of this in 2000, 500 miles away from Mexico in a New York court, well, one of the most notorious boss is on trial. His name Joaquin Guzman Lara, known simply as El Chapo, and he was extradited to the US after a long legal battle. So this with arrest and trial of Mexico's premier kingpin are the sign that the power of the cartel is finally being contained. Possibly over the past decade, a string of the leading drug lords in Mexico has been either killed or put in jail. This policy of targeting drug boss proved effective in Colombia with the capture of the notorious drug lord Pablo Escobar, whose cartel had its most powerful in the 1980s and early 90s, supplied most of the cocaine reaching the United States, but its most Mexico taking out of the drug barons has most little difference in 2018 was the most violence on the record with the over 32,000 murders and hadn't gone unnoticed, and it keeps rising until now. As US funding of the war on drugs in Mexico has fallen sharply from its peak in 2009, but it still provides tens of millions dollars in training to Mexican force as well as narcotic control and law enforcement program. But despite all these efforts and the capture or killing of the drug lords, the war is not being won in facts of the year. We have the data figures show that heroin, opium and cannabis production is up as President Obrador assumes office. His promised bold new initiative but can be achieved what none of the predecessors have been able to do to reduce the drug productions and the rate of killing in Mexico. There are 5 theoretical frameworks in this conflict, which is people-centered principle. Second is multi-sectoral principle. The third is comprehensive principle. The fourth is context-specific principle, and the fifth is preventive-oriented principle. To conclude, problems with the drug war issues between Mexico and the US is not easy to overcome. However, there are things that can be done to reduce the problem from spreading. This is because such crime occurs in every country and it is almost impossible things to solve completely. The promised change in security strategies and new approach to combating organized crime are nothing more than rhetoric and result remain limited. Due to the drug war, continued amid human rights abuse and little responsible for reforms, the security sector stagnates and the new self-defense armed groups are image areas where the rule of law is weak or non-existent. That is all from me. Thank you.